All right, this is a continuation of the last video. Go watch the last video, otherwise this won't make a lot of sense. I'm talking about souls who've chosen to incarnate here with Asperger's or autism or ADD or ADHD, some of these things. There's many, many, many souls incarnating onto this planet right now and have been for the last 20 years, my guides are saying right now. I channel a group of cosmic beings that are here to help us on our human journey. I started channeling about 4.5 years ago out of the blue. I had these guides with me when I was a kid, but I was told I was lying and pretending and grow up. It's time to stop lying about this stuff. So they went away and now they're back and they're here helping us all navigate the awakening. I do work with clients one-on-one, and I'm working on putting together a membership community right now. So go online in the link in my bio, sign up to be notified of the membership community and to see if working together feels aligned. I don't work with everyone, but you'll see on there if it feels aligned with you. So these souls are coming in and my guides have showed me that they're choosing these things that are being diagnosed as this list, but they're actually gifts, okay? And I explained in the last video these two columns, but what makes them different is that they're not as easily manipulated by the system. They are many times, when they start pushing back in school or rejecting the education system, which many of them, so far, all of my clients, the universe has been bringing me a ton of clients who have people with autism or Asperger's or Down syndrome in their family, usually kids. And so this is coming from channeling for many, many, many people now, okay? But they are rejecting the system. Every single person I've worked with who has a kid with Asperger's or on the spectrum with something, they're rejecting the system. And the system says, well, we need to medicate them, or we need to put them in special classes to teach them how to regurgitate this information, right? They're not going to be able to, operate on their own. They're not going to be able to, live on their own. And each person's individual and different. But what my guides have shown me is that they are here to teach us and to shift up the system. And they are more inclined and to be able to live on their own and navigate life better on their own when we are able to work with the reason why they came. Help them explore the reasons why they're rejecting school. What does it feel? Because they came here with codes. They came here with wisdom in order to help us change the systems that aren't working for us, that are created to control us. I do lots of videos on this. They came here to help us with all of this, okay? So what my guides have shared, and I had moved down here with the second video, is how we can help support them is by, this comes in a lot, getting them a journal, allowing them to verbally, but also journal out. What would they change if they could change things? What isn't working? How do they feel when something doesn't feel like it's working for them? How are they feeling about the school system? Younger, and then as they get older, how are they feeling about what they're doing, right? What do they think could be done better? And now I had a client yesterday whose daughter was in physically and emotionally, mentally abusive schools for many, many, many schools. She's now in a school that's totally supportive of her. She's a teenager. She's in high school. And what my guides have shown me is that she purposely contracted herself to be in the school system on both sides, what's not working and what's working, so that she can accumulate data in the human incarnation in order to do what she came here to do, which is to help change the system, but help to educate people. So beautiful. Help to educate parents and teachers and society about how to view people with these diagnoses. These are man-made diagnoses. We're putting people in a box in order to understand and maybe medicate, etc. Again, do your own research. I'm not a doctor, but my guides always say, do your own research before you put, anything in your body or the body of a loved one, medication-wise, shot-wise, etc. Because those things are man-made and created to help us conform and to mask the root of something, right? So the root of these people's man-made symptoms is that they came here on purpose with these gifts, my guides call them, Asperger's, autism, Down syndrome, OCD, ADHD. These are gifts to help them navigate into their mission and purpose in the way that they meant to. Okay, and 100% of the time so far when I've channeled for people with child, that's any of these diagnoses, they're here to change the system. They are old souls. down here, they're old souls. They came with much wisdom, but it's up to us as society. They choose their caregivers. They choose who they, who they're coming in with to help support them in their journey. And if you can understand, as caregivers, as parents, as children, as teachers, you can understand the bigger overall purpose for these things, which is over here that I wrote down. If you can understand the overall purpose, then you might make different decisions in supporting them. So what my guides have said is that they need, a lot of times what they've shown me is they need support with identifying and articulating their emotions and why they feel that way. Because if they can learn, until they're 18 or until they, get out of the education system, which they might continue their education. It might be online. It might be certifications. The education system is changing, and many of them are here to be part of creating the new system. And this is why they have walls up. This is why they have a guard up that keeps them from being easily manipulated by the system. This is why many times they're told to be put on medication to help them conform, but that's not why they're here. They're specifically here not to conform. They're here to help shake stuff up and change the system and show us how we're meant to live, which is thinking for ourselves, living in our authenticity, not through living in society based on what school has told us we should do. How should we respond to certain things? How should we feel about certain things? Hold in your emotions. Don't share. Don't show, respond in certain ways. We lose our authenticity in the system. They're here to change this. So we have to be aware of this and allow them the space to, and the support to do what they came here to do. Now, many times that means that they might need care longer than someone who doesn't have these gifts. Maybe they live at home for longer. But my guides have said, my client yesterday asked, will she ever be able to live on her own? And my guide said, in order to support her and being the most independent as possible, we need to support her free thinking. We need to get her to start journaling and start asking her questions like, well, all right, I understand that happened and how did that make you feel? What do you think caused that reaction from that person? And what caused you to feel or react that way that caused that reaction? Like, help them start dissecting and figuring out where this comes from, and then what would they do different? Because that's what they're here to do, is to help us identify and change and do things different. Because what we're doing now, which is what we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years, it just looks different, it's different times. It's all the same. It's conforming to a system that's using us to support the top 1%. That very, very few people at the top of this globe that are families that have passed on for generation over thousands and thousands of years, rule and control. They're here to help us with this. Just like I'm here, I started channeling out of the blue 2 years ago to help people understand their mission and purpose and why you're here and the reasons for your trauma and what the lessons are that you contracted the trauma to be in your life in order to do what? In order to help yourself experience certain themes, explore certain themes, potentially balance karma, maybe from previous lifetimes, and also to teach the collective something. Our medicine comes from usually our trauma that we have learned from. So again, you can go click the link in my bio if you want to go check out more about me and my story. I came from corporate America where I didn't believe in any of this stuff before, and I stood up against racism and massive corruption. And it cost me my job, which it turned out to be, at the time, it was a horrible trauma. And I look back now and it was the most beautiful miracle that could ever happen to me. And now I channel for people all around the world and help support them in really everything. But my passion is helping them understand the reasons for their trauma, how to understand the soul contracts they have with maybe difficult people in their life. The main soul contracts we have are with caregivers, partners, and children. And why we have those soul contracts. Why do we set up these things for ourselves? What were they meant to teach us? And then how can we align to our highest timeline? It's so beautiful. It's always so supportive. There's everything that comes through is always so beautiful and supportive. There's never anything fearful. There's never anything scary. It's absolutely amazing. So drop your questions and comments below. Would love to hear what you think about all of this. And like I said, I'm getting lots and lots of clients that are coming in with kids on the spectrum. I don't know exactly why. I do know it's because I am able to channel the information that they need to support them. That's the modality I have. Like a doctor has different, there's different types of doctors. This is my type of channeling. But Also, I believe it's to start bringing people together, which is the community that I'm working on, bringing people together so there's a support system within this community for people who have children or family members on the spectrum, just to help them. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.